Hi, I'm Furman and welcome back to my channel. For those that are first time user, this section of my channel is considered for watch orders. Um, Doing a watch order on Saban, Entertainment, Live Action, and Metal Heroes. My videos are normally done where they're done chronologically and in air order. So, like if it's a prequel, it's done before the original, etc., like that. This video is going to highlight the Power Rangers and all the shows that came after them that were Japanese based. There is one show that is not Japanese based, two actually: Mystic Knights of Tirnog and Los Nochadores, which are live entertainment from Saban Entertainment. So, at the end of this video, you will see the watch order of how I think it should be watched due to time, chronologically, and multiverse. As with SPD, everyone thinks SPD should be after Mighty Morphin or sorry, after Dino Thunder, but in actuality, it should in time fall after Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. Then, but to start it off, you go with Mystic Knights of Tirnog, which was a Fox Kids TV show set in the medieval age with magic and dragons. And then you would move on to the first ever episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Day of the Dumpster. Now, actually, you would want to watch if anyone can find it, and I would hope if you can find it, you can send it to me because I never got to see it. I've only seen bits and pieces. The Lost episode, which is the original pilot that aired with Jason Lee Scott's character, actor Austin St. John in 1999, showing what it was originally about. Like instead of Zordon, it was Zoltar, and transmorphers instead of morphers, and there was an entirely different training. Um, so if you can watch that, that would be the perfect place to watch it before Day of the Dumpster. If not, you don't really need to. You would watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, I personally don't think the revised one is any good. They only did 32 episodes. Come on, you end with A Star Is Born. If you're gonna do it, at least end with an oyster stew. But this will only entail the non revision because I don't consider it a part of any mainstream or multiverse because it was during the time between the Disney era and the Neo Saban era that was showing on ABC before Saban got it back and brought it on with Nickelodeon. So then you would, after you're into Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin, and all like that, you would watch VR Troopers, which had a pilot that never aired called Cybertron, which the show was originally called Cybertron, with Jason Davis Frank as the title character. But due to his popularity, he was brought back to Power Rangers, and Brad Hawkins was given the role because he was originally going to be the new White Ranger, but it didn't work out, and they gave the White Ranger to Jason Davis Frank. He ended up going on to be in Power Rangers as the voice of Trey, Prince of Triforia. But that show lasted 2 seasons, and it only ended because, like Big Bad Beetleborgs, they ran out of production from Japan. You would have Super Samurai Cyber Squad with one of the Lawrence brothers in the main role as the main character. Then you would go on to see episodes like the throwaway episode Christmas movie that was really big, Alpha's Magical Christmas, the little Bulk and Skull little thing movie in there, that 30-minute that combined different parts of different shows episodes into it. You would have the backdoor open pilot for The Masked Rider, which is the 3-part episode A Friend in Need, which was considered a miniseries. There was a bunch of little miniseries throughout the show. They considered Changing of the Zords a miniseries. They considered A Different Shade of Pink, which I think A Ranger Catastrophe different shade of pink, changing of the Zords, and follow that cab were all, I think, its own little mini series because it all dealt with the departure of Kimberly and the arrival of Catherine. And you also have, at that point, you'll have Beetleborgs put in there, Masked Rider, and then you would watch Zeo, which Zeo, the It's Coming, like little serials that came during the third season and mostly during Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, I did not include because, from what I read, they're not really considered actual part of the story. And if you watch it, Bulk and Skull are in it and all, but at the time, Bulk and Skull are supposed to be in reverted on Earth along with everyone else because their antics, Bulk and Skull antics, now as children instead of teens, young adults. Um, and then Beetleborgs is in it. There was a rumor that there was supposed to be a crossover with Turbo and Beetleborgs, but it never went to fruition. But the comic books of Beetleborgs was actually put into an episode that had Bulk and Skull doing their multiple little jobs that they did throughout Turbo. This time it was the episode Fire in Your Tank, where they were supposed to be scouts for fires out in the woods when Torch Tiger is destroying everything with the booster fuel created for Lightning Cruiser and Storm Blaster. Um, then you would do Power Rangers in Space, which also has Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation. It's crossover, which provided that Ninja Turtles is now into it as well. Now, you would continue on. And during Time Force, there was a show on Fox called Los Nochadores, which it was a superhero show. It didn't last long, and it was produced by Saban Entertainment. So it is included in this list. Now, the only show that's not included in this list that was superhero like, and it was kind of like a really cheesy spinoff, but it was a good show, was Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. I did not include that because it had no connection to Metal Heroes or Saban Entertainment. So that show was not put into this list. Then you would follow through the remainder of the Saban era, and then you would start the Disney era. Now, when you get into Dino Thunder, most people would think you would go to SPD, but SPD is set in the year 2025, which is this year. So I say you start with Mystic Force and then continue on through RPM, which is the end of the Disney era, omitting the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger revision. Please. I can't say enough how much I did not like it. It was too much 1960s Batman, and I liked the ending crawl where it showed the images of the Zords and the characters, and especially Bulk falling down into the balloons and Skull getting pied in the face. So then you would start the Neo Saban era and go through to the Hasbro era. Now I put Once and Always in between Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury because I have not seen any, and I admit I have not watched much Power Rangers since Megaforce, because life and all that. But I did watch the Once and Always, and I came to find out that Billy was going to be in Cosmic Fury. So, and play a big role in it. So, I hope to watch those and catch up on it. Then I put SPD, and technically the final episode being the ending. So, it sets up for the future for the comic book, Soul of the Dragon, also Bridge becoming the Blue Ranger, which he eventually becomes the Red Ranger, as we see in the 15th anniversary episode of Once and Always, which was Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger, with Adam being the leader of the team. So, if you like this video and like others, please like and subscribe. And if you have a watch order that you were interested in, please send me a message on the comments and I'll see what I can do about making one. Mostly my videos are sci-fi and all, and I will be doing other videos on other topics. So thank you very much, and I hope that you like this video.